Hello everyone and welcome to day 12 of our Hello Python series. So I am Mayank Agarwal and in this video we are going to continue our learning on operators and learn about relationship operators. So they are a lot important as you will see them written all over SQL queries as well as lots of logic in code. So let's get started. Start with relationship operators. So relationship operators are actually used to compare different values, right? So many times we have different values which we want to compare. Relationship operators are the one which are used there. Okay, just a second. Cool. So you must have seen them, of course, basically in our school and everywhere, but the way it is used, I would say in programming, that's a little bit different. So we will understand the same. One thing always to understand and remember is that relationship operator, they always return a Boolean value that is either true or false based on the condition. Now, you can think of this intuitively as someone, let's say, who is trying to judge if like let's say who is bigger in height, right? Intuitively we can think, or whenever we are comparing anything, right? The answer is either true or false. Let's say if I ask you if the height of this particular thing is bigger than height of that thing, so you will be comparing them intuitively in your mind, and that is what a relationship operator help you to do in coding. Okay, so let us understand the same and move ahead. So these are the different relationship operators which are there with us. So meaning, and I think the operators are written to you. So greater than, less than, greater than equal to, less than equal to, double equal to actually is the one which is used to check if two values are equal to each other, right? So assignment, basically we write this a is equals to 5 when we are assigning this value to a, but for people who are new in programming, we actually write like this: a equal to 5 to check if a is equals to 5, and you can think that it is going to return you true if it's right, else it's going to return you false. Okay, so now let us see some example for the same, everyone. Let us see some examples. So relationship operators, and again for this particular as well, I have given you a very good, I would say, this code file so that you can revise the same. This F string format of printing, right? I have used some new thing here. So I will be showing you that. Okay, we will be teaching that in the upcoming videos. Okay, so please make sure that you subscribe to my channel and you don't miss any of the videos of our Hello Python series. Okay, so let us see this. Let's say a is equals to 10 and b is equals to 5. Now, what we are actually just doing here is, we are printing out this and we are checking if 10 equal to 5. No, that is not the case, right? So it is false. In a similar way, if 10 not equal to 5, that is true, because 10 is not equal to 5, right? So it is very important to understand what each and every, I would say, particular word is doing here. Operator is doing here. So equal to, as we know, checks for the equality. 10 is not equal to 5, so it returns you false. And as I said that the result can either be true or a false. It is a Boolean, like the output is always going to be Boolean. And you can then also think that we can use it at a lot of places. So let's say if we have to apply any condition, right? If let's say we want to do something, okay, which we will be just doing when the condition is true or false. Okay, so let's say you can think of that in a case of when you log into your account, right? Anywhere you are logging into your account, it asks you for a password. Now that password in the backend is actually checked using relationship operators only, and if it is true, then you get logged in, else it is showing you the error, right? Or basically ask you to enter it again. In a similar way, let's say whenever you're writing any SQL queries, if anyone have seen that, or any other condition, basically in coding anywhere, we can write these things like, let's say, get me all the people whose height or whose age is less than 20 and greater than 10, and it gets you that based on the condition. So equal to is 1, then not equal to. Similarly, the next one is greater than. So 10 greater than 5, yes, that's true. Similarly, if 10 is greater than 5, then it cannot be less than 5, so that's false. Another one is greater than and equal to, so it's check. Okay, it checks. So one thing always remember, that's a kind of an edge case, that 5 is not greater than 5, right? They are equal to each other. Okay, so in that phase we need to apply this equal to condition. So let's say tomorrow if you want, let's say in a query, or normally if you want some people whose age is less than, whose age is greater than 10, either you can write like this, age greater than equal to 10, or you have to write like this, age greater than 9. Okay, these are some conditions which, as you will write more and more code, you will understand it properly. But I want to make sure that if someone is complete newbie, then you understand that how exactly and why are let's say age greater than 9 written when we want 10 there, right? So because if you're going to write age greater than 10, then you're not going to get people whose age is equal to 10. Okay, so this is exactly how your relationship operators are defined, everyone. Let me clear everything here. So these are few of the examples where we have used each and every one of them. Okay, now let us move forward, and I think it is very intuitive to, I would say, just compare numbers or float or numerical values with your, I would say, relationship operator, right? We know that 10 is greater than 5. That makes sense. It's going to give you true. The problem happens like, let's say when I have S1 is equals to, say, Mayank, and let's say I have s2 is equals to Python. Now what will you do? Now if I ask you, hey, which one is bigger than this? Now what will you do? Should we compare the length? Should we compare or see that which is having the more capital letters? How will exactly we go about it, right? So there is a way which is known as or a concept known as lexicographical basically comparison. Okay, so let us learn about that as well. Now you are going to see here relationship operators, okay, with strings, relationship operator with strings. So what happens? Okay, what happens is that how can we compare strings? Okay, that is something which we have never done, right? Well, how can you say that small and big, like which is greater? Now you may think that big is greater, but small is having 5 characters, right? So how exactly are we going to do that? Here we have 5 characters. Here we have 3 characters. Now it's our understanding that big we say to a thing which is bigger and small smaller, but Python doesn't know that meaning, right? Python doesn't know that meaning. And tomorrow if you also compare Hindi words and everything, then how it's going to happen, right? So there is some way we do that, and relationship operator can actually be applied to strings. They give answer via lexicographical comparison. Okay, so lexicographical comparison, it's an important interview question as well as I would say MCQ question as well. So now let us try to understand the steps in lexicographical comparison so that in future you can also compare the strings. Okay, so let me just make myself a little small here and that will be better. Yeah, cool. So what lexicographical comparison actually do is that it actually loop through individual character of a string one by one. So let's say if you have small and if you have big, so let us actually define the same only. Let us actually define the same in here. So let's say you have small and you have big. Now we know that we can actually access the character one by one for them, right? So I'm accessing the first element of them. Okay, now I will be comparing them. But what exactly will I be comparing? So now new thing to understand here is that there is a ID function. There is a basically your ORD function. Okay, ORD function. Now what it does, it returns a Unicode point. Okay, Unicode value for a 1 character string. So if you will provide it a string, okay, it will give you the Unicode value of it. And this Unicode value is actually what is compared, because we cannot say that S or capital S, whichever is greater than the other, right? Or let's say if you are tomorrow comparing S with a, let's say an exclamation mark or any special character. So for that particular use case, and we know that they all basically are getting stored as a Unicode value. That is something which I have already told you in the previous video, right? Where we discussed about how to store strings. That is what is compared when we do comparison between strings. So ORD of S is 115. ORD of B is 98. Now, as you can see here, 115 is greater than 98, right? So what Python is going to do is it's not going to go forward. It will just say that, hey, string 1, where this one was bigger, it is greater than string 2. And if I do S1 greater than S2, I'm going to get my answer as true. So that is how lexicographical comparison happens. That is how strings are compared with each other. Okay, so it is again very important to understand. Now let me take another example. Here. Okay. Capital A. Okay. So let us understand what exactly is happening here, everyone. So we have S3 of 0, and S4 of 0. Now both are S, right? So what I can do is I can take ORD of that as well. And I think it is very much understood that it will be same for them. Now, when they are same, I'm going to move forward. And let me make it a little bit easy for the timing. Let me take just the string which is same, exactly the same. Now when we are going to compare these strings, okay, that is how the comparison is going to happen. I'm going to compare each and every. So first S is going to get compared with the S of the string 4, then next S, then next S. Like this, it's going to happen. Okay. And if it is equal, then we are going to say that the strings is equal. Okay, we are not going to do sum or anything. No, we are just going to compare point by point. Okay, so that is what happened. Loop through individual character of a string. Okay, S1, S2, get the Unicode value and compare that. So we are going to get the Unicode value here. ORD of S. Okay, we have already seen, I think ORD of S was 115 and 98. So let me write that as well here. 115 and 98, right? So 115 and 98. Now when I go forward, if the value is same, continue. Else string was character Unicode value is higher, is bigger. Okay. So let us now see another example of that. SS, S3, S4 and basically S3 and S4. Now if I add just A and capital A here, then let us see how our result changes. Okay. So I think till the second character, okay, everything is fine. Till the third character rather, if you start from 1. Problem happens when we have this fourth character, right? Okay, I think I made an error. Yeah, 3. We started from 0. Yeah. So this is gonna be A and capital A, right? So first let us see the result. Of course, they're not equal to each other. We know that. Okay. But let us see if S3 is greater than S4. Yes, S3 is greater than S4. So now I hope many of you would be able to understand that why is this happening. If we take this A and if we take this capital A, okay, the value is 97 and 65. So for the first 3 characters, it's going to be exactly the same. We have already seen that. But when I go to S3, which is when I go to this third character, which is small a, it is having the value of 97 while capital is having the value of 65. So it is not that if it is capital, it's going to be greater, right? So on the same note, I think now we can actually calculate and get the Unicode value of any particular string which you want. It is 33. So of course it is going to be small then. So I know that if it is 33, it's going to be small than my capital A because A is having the value of 97. And that is how exactly it is given. It doesn't matter now. Honestly, it doesn't matter if you have lots of A or even Z as well here because ORD of Z, right? Second, yeah. ORD of Z, if you see it is 122. But now it doesn't matter. If you have these so many of big characters after the first one, the answer is still gonna be A is bigger. The reason you can guess, of course, that because we just calculate the first character first and get the answer from that, it doesn't matter what is after that. In a similar way, if let's say I have a string, okay, and let's say here first they are equal, okay, it is false because they are equal to each other. Now if I add, okay, let's say another character to it, and of course this one is not having any other character, so we normally take it as, okay, it is a null, so it is 0, and of course this will be greater than 0 anyway, any day, right? So in this way, this is going to be true. So I will just explain a little bit more better what I understand by here. So we have this A and A here, right, and A. So this is going to be 97. It's going to be equal to this 97, right? So they are going to be equal. Now my pointer is going to move here, okay, and from here also the pointer is going to move here. Now nothing is here, so we can maybe take it as 0, and here because A is there, it is going to be 97, right? And we know that 97 is greater than 0. So this is the string which is bigger than the right one string. Okay. So everyone, I hope this is clear. Now it is a lot, I would say, easy to implement and everything, but normally students just get confused in that, but that is how lexicographical comparison is done. So I hope pretty much sure that now it should be a lot clear. I would expect that you will take more example. And of course, I have given few of them in this particular code as well, where I've explained that. So apple, banana and everything, what is happening. Okay. So now let us move forward and see what other properties are there in the relationship operators. So special behavior of relationship operators. Okay. So one thing, yeah, sorry. So there is one more slide in between. We can also chain multiple relationship operators in a single line. Okay. The example is in front of you. If we are chaining them, just you have to remember one thing. Okay. If we are chaining them, we will return true if all the individual values or all the individual conditions are true, else we are going to return false. So we are basically just again comparing individual conditions. So here it's going to break like this: 1 greater than 2 and 2 greater than 3. So as both of them are true, we are going to give the answer which is true. Okay. If any one of them would have been false, we would have given the answer as false. So that is how we can chain multiple relationship operator, and that is how they are basically evaluated in Python. So Python returns true. Python returns true if all individuals are true, else false. Okay, all individual conditions are true, else it returns false. And here is where we can see some examples of that as well. Okay, so let us just run this quickly. So see, first let us take this one. And if you will see, this is true because 2 is greater than 1 and 3 is greater than 1. So the way it is actually happening is like this: 1 less than 2 and print 2 less than 3, and you will see all are true. The next one, it will actually get run like this: print 2 greater than 3. Now because one of them is false, the final answer is false. Okay, and I can actually have multiple of them. If any one of them is false, then the answer is going to be false, else it's going to be true. Okay, cool. I hope that is also clear. So let us understand one more behavior which is a little important, I would say, because where you are going to see this. So special behavior of equal to and not equal to. So they are also relationship operator, but they also have a little bit special property. It compares the operands. Okay, so I think now the operands and operator, everything is clear, for equality and compatible type and same value, and return true if they are equal. Okay, so I have forgotten to write equal here and written notes. Yeah, if they are equal. Okay, so now what exactly is happening here, everyone, is that this double equals to, it checks for compatible type, not equal type. Okay, compatible type. For example, float and integer, they are compatible with each other. Okay. So if I'm doing like this, let's say 15 equals to 15.0, I'm going to get an answer as true because these are compatible type. But if I do 15 equals to 15, it's going to be false because string is not compatible with integer, right? So you have to understand this, everyone. Again, if I do true equals 1, it's going to give me true, right? And value is also going to get checked. So it's not that just that is going to get checked. If I do this 2 equal to 0, it's going to give me false. Okay. In a similar way, if I do 0 equals false, because they are compatible type, Boolean can actually be, I would say, further evaluated as a integer. Okay. And similarly, float and integer can also be evaluated in one another. They are compatible type. First types are checked and then the value. Okay. So in similar way, here, because string and integer are not of compatible type, we just give the answer as false and we get the answer here. Now, not equal to is exactly opposite of this. If you have, let's say, 15 not equal to 15, it's going to give you the answer as true because they are of incompatible types altogether, right? So in a similar way, let's say if we have 1.0 equals 1, that's going to be true because 1.0 is of compatible type with that. But let's say if it is this, then it's false because value also gets basically checked. Okay, so many where you're going to see code like this where let's say we are getting some value which is in float and we are checking that with int. Now Python will actually go through with that and it will be like, yeah, the types are compatible and it understand that 15.0 is not a lot different with 15, right? So that is something which you also have to understand. But string on the other hand is completely different, I would say, with Boolean. They are not compatible, right? So true as a string is something completely different, right? As compared to true as a Boolean or as an integer, right? So normally we take this as 1 only, right? I told you that true and 1 and 0 and false in Python are interchangeable. So, but on the other hand, if I do this string, okay, now it will be get changed into a string and I'm going to get true because we know that string of true, it is equals to true. Like I think this is something which I've covered in the earlier videos. Okay, so please make sure that you see all those videos if you have not already. That will help you to clear your basics a lot clear because in all the videos we are making sure that we understand everything in complete depth. So that tomorrow if you want to make a career as a data scientist, data engineer, software developer, your basics are a lot clear. Okay, so on that note, also like and comment on this video. Also share this with all your friends. Okay, so yeah, that is I think all to be understood about the relationship operator. Okay, now one more thing we have to understand is that of course with every of my videos I'm giving you these codes. So please go through them, understand the industry use case as well. I'm giving the example as well here and the questions. So try to do these questions as well. You have the solutions as well here which you can attempt. Okay. So cool everyone, I hope the relationship operators are a lot clear. Please download these resources and try to understand them a little bit more in depth. I have made sure that each and every property, right, I have covered so that you don't have to actually access any other resources. Okay. Being a professional, I have used them and I've seen that what exactly gets used in the industry, and those are the things which majorly I have tried to basically incorporate in the notes and everything which I'm making, so that whenever you do any projects in future, you will not face any problem. Okay. So yeah, with that said, please subscribe to my channel and hit that bell icon. Also share these videos with anyone who is trying to learn Python or basically brush up the skills before interview. Now we will meet in the next class and we will learn more about operators. Till then, yeah, please make sure that you like and yeah, keep on learning. Thank you.